say anything to you?
The middle children of history, man. No purpose or place. We have no Great War, no Great Depression. Our Great War is a spiritual war.
Did I seriously misspell it and say New Iraq War? Oh my gosh.
Hurrah! Or yeah, you did.
Oh wow, that's miserable. Let me fix this.
So embarrassing. AI didn't even catch it for you. What is it even worth?
Nothing.
Man, I don't know what we're gonna talk about.
Well,
We're
gonna talk about Iraq.
Oh my goodness, man. So when we made that, we're like, hey, we might go on Friday night if things kick off, and then so like, and I told you, I was like, hey, I'll be on as late as 9:30, or starting as late as 9:30 to kick this thing if something happens. 9:30 rolls around, nothing. I got back. I took my son. We went to watch some college basketball and some college baseball this weekend. It was just daddy and son weekend. And so I get back from the baseball game around, I don't know, 9 or so. And so I'm like, we can go ahead and do this. If something's happening, look, nothing's going on. Nothing.
Right.
All right, I'm going to go to sleep, and I never sleep well away from home anyway. But I didn't check my phone. Like I've been making it a purpose, especially during Lent. Like I'm not checking my phone as much, which is really hard for someone who has FOMO real bad. Hey, Sean. So we have the recipes. Oh, look, Ocean's there.
Yeah.
Ocean's our token black kid. We love Ocean. Ocean's a good dude. So anyway, we get home or we get back to my in-laws and I go to bed and I wake up at like 5:30 in the morning and I get up and make some coffee because, like, I don't know why I try and sleep in on the weekends. It doesn't work. I just lay there in bed.
Never works.
Anyway. And we got in bed. My mother-in-law texts me. She goes, "Happy going to war with Iran day." I was like, "Oh no, what happened?" I missed it. What's going on? So that's when I started watching everything going. The hard part about all this is separating what's real from the Arma 3 clips and AI.
Well, what's his name? 3-star general couldn't do that. Who was it?
Flynn?
Yeah, it was Flynn.
Was it Flynn?
Flynn retweeted out an Arma 3 clip.
What did he say?
Something like, more or less like, God bless our brave men and women, but he was retweeting an Arma 3 clip.
Golly, man.
Like, oh man, you were a general, dude. Oh my gosh.
AI is destroying boomers. Like, it's like they don't know what to do at all. Like I saw someone posted a conversation they had with their mother, and their mother was freaking out because Iran just nuked Israel, and it's like barely good AI. I think the cloud went up and you're like, it was like that cloud it turns into a clown type thing, I can't believe what kind of weapons do they do that makes I'm like, what?
Oh my gosh.
Boomers up. Like even with my wife, I have to. Like just last night as we were in bed and I was about to go to sleep and I was just showing her some things. I was like, and I'll show her like, hey, look at this. And she's like, yeah. I was like, this is AI. And I have to like point it out to her. She's like, how do you know? I was like, like once you look at this stuff enough, you can just kind of tell. But that's
it's a feeling.
Yeah, it's just a feeling. You can just kind of tell like the way it's animated sometimes.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But the thing that was tripping us up was the Jim Carrey stuff this weekend. Did you see any of that?
But that ended up not being AI.
Yeah, it wasn't AI.
That was an actor in a mask.
It was an actor,
right?
or a comedian or whatever that does that. But we all had that sense, right? Like we all had that doesn't look right.
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 Yeah.
So we all knew that there's that uncanny valley that kicked in for a lot of us. Right. And it's the same thing with a lot of. So I keep having to show my wife, hey, look at this. This is real. Like this is really happening. Like the Karachi, Pakistan, going after the consulate there.
Yeah.
Right? This is real. You can tell by the way everybody's moving. There's, whatever. But then I showed her another one of like, I think it was,
It's like, see, watch this
It was
video. You can look at that video and you can smell it. That's how you know it's real. As far as the Karachi Pakistan one.
Exactly. It smells like feces and curry. And sweat. I don't know what it is about that. They just all smell like sweat all the time. Yeah, this weekend was real, and it's going, guys. I don't know anything that y'all don't know. I just have a feeling something really bad is going to happen tonight while we're all asleep on the East Coast and Central Time. It's too many things are lining up. We got the blood moon coming in, and you may not believe it's the coming tribulation, but the evangelicals and the Jews think it is, right? They're trying to make it happen. And so I just think something horrible is going to happen because it's permanent.
I did just see right before coming on that the bomb squad had been called out to Trump Tower in New York.
Got it. So that's why. So the second half of tonight's show, we're going to try and do it on X only because I want to go because I want to be able to show y'all some stuff. I bet you do. Whatever you do, don't text me your cell phone number and Telegram so we could talk about it. But but the second half of the tonight's show is going to be about. I know last week we did the Get Home Bag. This is Get Home Bag Part 2, like Part B, right? So now it's like, hey, I need to be able to get home just in case, like a natural. This is I need to get home, and there might be a resistance on the way home, right? So we're going to go over some things that I'm starting to carry right now, and I have before when things got kind of dicey like this. But I want to kind of show you all my setup to kind of give you an idea of what you can do for yourself. And if you don't have it, then to be honest with you, like a lot of this military surplus is super cheap, and you can do something very similar, right? So we'll go over that in the second half of the show, and that'll only be on X because we can't show it on YouTube because YouTube hates that people can defend themselves and like the manners of being able to do that, right?
YouTube mostly hated that people were offing themselves on live, but
well, I bet they were trans.
Oh my gosh. No, Molly, it's so much work, Molly.
Look, Molly, no one likes us enough for us to have a locals.
Plus, everyone hates watching on locals too.
Yeah,
everyone bitches about it.
The interface for locals is so clunky. It's just not fun. Like I've thought about doing Rumble, right? But
we do have Rumble. The problem is in StreamYard, the software we use, you can't have 2 Rumble accounts listed. So I can't stream. Yeah.
So we have to get rid of Avoiding Babylon because nobody watches all over there anyway.
We could, or
like we have 6 people over there,
or we just need to actually get a separate StreamYard account.
Yeah, but that's money, and we don't like. We're not getting any money from this. I'm doing this purely for the love of the game.
Adrian has said no matter what, he will always, if this ever makes money, he said he would donate it somewhere.
Yeah, I don't need the money. This is just because I like doing this. But
please, anything but X. There's no other option, guys.
Yeah, if y'all can give me another option, locals does buffer a lot. If y'all give me another option, like but the problem is for me to do some of the stuff and show y'all and talk about some of the things I want to talk about, I can't do it on YouTube.
Close the door.
They will kick it, like it's just not an option. It's not like I'm worried about being demonetized. They will kick us off YouTube.
And it will just happen automatically. Their auto censor will see a gun, and bam.
Yeah. And in fact, Rob reminded me, I need to go ahead and tweet out the stream. So for those of y'all that may or may not follow me on X, I'm gonna put out this retweet the stream for tonight. So when it comes time for the X only streams, y'all just go view it on my. So let me find it.
So there is another option. I haven't tried it, but we could.
There is another way.
Yeah, we could do it. We could quit the stream entirely whenever we're done on YouTube and go over to the Telegram and do it on Telegram.
Oh, yeah, we could do that. Ooh, that might be better.
But then it wouldn't be
we're
recorded.
gonna lose reach.
We could never
but
post it afterwards.
Yeah.
Onto YouTube. So that's the downside there.
Yeah. And that's the yeah. I mean, even from Telegram, like we can't just post because like we do with X, like the since we're posting it and we show, pew pews.
Well, what I'm saying is we would do it from the Telegram interface, not from the StreamYard interface. So then we wouldn't have a StreamYard recording to post later. Another option would be, I mean, Twitch or Kick, but I'm sure they're like YouTube when it comes to guns.
But no, ain't no way, because what I saw Gypsy Crusader get in an argument with a dude, and he pulled a gun like 16 times in that
on
show.
Twitch
he's
or
still around.
Kick?
Whatever he's on. He's on Omegle or something, isn't he?
Omegle's different.
Yeah, that's something. Never mind. I take that back. Guys, I do like YouTube and Instagram. Maybe we could do it on Instagram.
Maybe.
The only problem, I don't like Instagram. The only reason I go to Instagram is for the GunTube stuff.
Yep.
But man, Instagram, its algorithm does not care. It will show you porn, like no matter what. Like I don't like it when I go to look for something. All of a sudden, I'm seeing like every 8th post is like a soft.
Like when you like actually search for something.
Yeah, when you do the the looking glass to go search for something.
Yeah, I never did.
And all the examples it gives you or the suggestions, and porn's always in there. Like I had to delete Instagram for a while because I couldn't go into it because like I would want to look up somebody that I haven't seen in a while or whatever.
Right.
And I don't really like some of these guys I don't like to follow because I don't want to give them kind of hate watch, But but like it just shows up. I'm like, man, because that's by the grace of God, that is one thing I don't have to struggle with anymore. And I'm going to tell you, like, it was a struggle when I was in the Marines. Like, it wasn't struggling. It was just accepted and everybody did it. Right. But that was one of the first things I prayed about and went to confession for over and over and over for a long time because of that. Yeah. But you're watching. It's
because of something you said on Twitter, isn't it?
Probably.
Adrian's a different beast on Twitter.
No, I'm the same beast. Like usually you can just see the face now.
That's fair.
I don't see anything here. I don't see on Twitter. I don't, and vice versa. I have no Afghan.
You should have wore a turban. That would have been hilarious. Would have been funny.
Alhamdulillah.
I believe it. I believe that 100%.
Ocean was like, "Who's these 2 white dudes?" But so we'll try and find something.
We'll figure something out.
But I can't cater to 2 people who don't like X, right? Like if we get a lot of looks on X, because the goal of this is to get as much exposure on this as possible, because we're going to go over just war theory tonight, and I'm going to crack some heads tonight, and it's going to be fun. And a lot of y'all going to disagree with me, but and that stuff, like there are some things that still need to be discussed, right? And theologians and ivory towers who are not involved in some of these things make a pronouncement about it, which is why it's a theory, right? When it comes time for the rubber to meet the road, right? The fog of war sets in, right? So we're gonna talk about some fun stuff tonight.
Would those ivory towers happen to be at Pasadena City College?
That guy has the worst Trump syndrome, and I love him. Like I've read pretty much every article he's ever put out. I haven't read any of his books.
The book on the death penalty is amazing. I've read that.
Yeah. It's because Wagner is soft as Sean, and I like Wagner. But man, do not make fun of him a little bit. At all. Do not tease him at all, and he loses his mind. Yeah. Good.
Deleted, or
did they make him delete it? Because Wagner puts out some things that y'all don't want to hear either, right?
Yeah.
And I usually agree with him. But there's some things that just rub me raw about Wagner that he's completely wrong about, which is so my wife is he's swole all right. Looks like he got stung by a bee and is allergic to it. But so I was having a conversation with my wife. There's a YouTube channel she likes to watch. And I'm not going to name them because I don't want to put my wife's business out there. But it's one of those things where like never meet your heroes. And she's slowly, because my wife is not social media savvy. She's hardly ever on it. She just watches a few videos that she likes. Like she loves Father Dan Rehill. You know, she listens to him a lot. And so anyway, they had a show about and some of y'all are going to get the reference as soon as I say it. No, it's not Mad. Frat Mad.
It's not
Mad. They had a show about how women need to lose weight. Right. And it was like, and we were discussing it and I was talking to her. I was like, look, here's the issue with that situation. The female that's part of that conversation thinks, talks, and acts like a man. Right. She's very logical driven. She's not very empathetic. Right. On it. Cause that show really just came off as like Mean Girls. Right. Like if you're trying to talk to women like that, they're not going to hear you. They're going to turn you off.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to evangelize to women that they need to lose some weight, you need to find a better way to do it because that wasn't it. Right. Because so, you know, just there are times where my wife is now learning that she doesn't have to agree with people all the time because the other half of that conversation, the other person involved has a horrible opinion about the SSPX, and he has a horrible opinion about the authority of the Pope in some matters.
Yeah.
And he is blind on those two topics. And this is coming from a guy who I've been to like 2 SSPX masses in my life. Right. And so it's not like I have a dog in the fight there, but it just but there's a lot of other things I agree with him about, just about everything else. But those 2 opinions are like, I just tune him out. Like he's just retarded there. That's fine. I got retarded opinions too. Y'all call me out on it all the time. I get it. I'm going to stay retarded. Right. My opinion's not going to change because I have no reason to, unless I get some type of information I didn't have before, but that's just how it is. And I don't mind y'all calling me out on stuff, which has been a sore spot a little bit in our Telegram lately. Some guys don't like people disagreeing with them at all.
I have not been paying enough attention to that, apparently.
It got a little spicy yesterday.
Oh boy.
I was coming back from the weekend with my boy. But I mean, as men, we need to have thicker skin. Right? And if you don't like the way that I talk to you, you need to be around more men and quit hanging around women all the time because it's not doing you any good. You need to have thicker skin and you need to be able to let things just roll off your back and not take things personally. You should never let another man hurt your feelings. It's not that he's probably not trying to hurt your feelings. And if he is, he's acting like a woman too. But 2, it's not that serious. Why would you let another man have control of how you feel? So, all right. What do I go over first? Do you anything you want to go over?
I have a lot of tweets bookmarked from the last couple of days here.
Bring one up. Let's look at it.
Well, actually, where do we want to start?
Yeah. I mean, you pick.
Dealer's
choice.
Do we want to watch what happened?
Is this a question? Did y'all think I was bald? Just because I wear a hat?
I have to admit, my forehead is definitely getting larger. I'm gonna have to go back to early shows and see just how much larger, but it's definitely getting larger.
I took my barber. I went to him last week. I go to about every other week. And last week I walked in and I was like, I got the gray hairs coming in. They're like, I'm getting like the wing tips on the side, starting to come in like in the sides.
That's like the best.
He's like, man, I don't see nothing. Like, that's why I pay you. That's why I pay you.
Yeah, it's usually a safe bet. In my
yeah, experience. I get that. My brother's losing his hair, and he's 3 years younger than me. So I just got the good genes, I guess. Look, I don't know what this word means. I'm gonna take this as an insult.
It's some sort of herbal supplement.
I don't. Ashwagandha, isn't that for testosterone? Yeah. It's my 6-year-old that's giving me the gray hair. She's dry. She's driving me ragged. Do you have kids young? I had my 6-year-old when I was 38. Have your kids young. Kids are a young man's game.
Let's see. 37. Oh, we're not done yet, hopefully. So we'll see. Do we want to? Where do we want to start? I got the Karachi.
Well, one of the Karachi videos you won't be able to show. It'll kick us off YouTube. It's pretty violent.
Okay, we cannot show the Karachi video.
Yeah, I don't know which one you're showing. There's a few of them, but there's one where you see a guy get canoed.
I don't think you see that in this one. This is the one more where they're dragging all the I mean, this one's still pretty violent because they're dragging all the bodies away.
Yeah, I wouldn't show that one.
Okay.
If y'all get a chance, just go on to X and search Karachi and click on video at the top so you can see the videos. What happened in Pakistan is the Pakis decided to try and overrun the consulate there. And the Marines were basically given the green light, and they just started shwacking dudes. I can think they killed 21 or 22.
I was seeing 32 in some, but
they go up higher than that.
Yeah,
because now in the Paki police were helping, like you just mowing these people down. There's one video where this guy comes up and tries to fight him hand to hand, and like 5 of them just beat the guy.
Well, I did not see that video.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
But it's noteworthy because there are a couple events at embassies and consulates in the past where there was no green light given, and it did not end well for us.
Yeah. Well, we got adults in charge now.
Okay, what about the Texas shooting?
Yeah, we can go over that.
Okay. There was I saw one video, but it didn't really show anything that was even helpful, really.
There's one video where they're doing compressions on people inside the bar.
Okay, I didn't see that one.
And I had to like turn that one off because I was criticizing their compressions. So I'm like, bro, have you not watched The Office? Staying alive. That's the theme, right? Go with that rhythm, right? It was not. It was like, stay in. Brother, you got shoulders as big as boulders. You can do better than that. I cannot get knickknacks. That's one downside of living in Alabama. One of the very few. The other one is Alabama fans. Is the other bad thing about living in Alabama. Right,
anyways, so for anyone who didn't hear, it was what, Saturday night into Sunday, right?
Mm-hmm.
In Austin, Texas, I don't know what part of Austin, there was a shooting at a bar, and the shooter wore this. Says pretty clearly on there, property of Allah, and underneath,
what he's wearing underneath.
Yeah, underneath the hoodie, he was wearing a T-shirt with the Iranian flag.
Bro, if this is a false flag, this is the most blatant false flag.
The worst one in history.
A Senegalese Sunni is siding with Shia Iran against the kafir. To be honest with you, it makes no sense. But there's a video of the there's a video of the shoot. You don't see this. Well, you see a little bit of the shooting, but you hear it mostly. You just hear the rapid fire that he's doing.
Yeah.
But I mean, he got caught with a rifle and a pistol.
Yeah.
So remember, he had a bunch of ammo and a Quran in his car.
Yeah, so he was from Senegal, as Adrian said. When did he get to the U.S.?
13. Well, 13 is when he was naturalized.
Right, he had been here quite a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Like, it's one of those things. Like, yeah, people are saying looks like a Fed op or a false flag.
It does,
but it's so much so where I think it probably someone with just a very low IQ. You know what I mean?
That would be like Rob going to shoot up a Little Hat building wearing a Billy Graham t-shirt.
Or I'm trying to think of a situation where I would wear the little hat you are going to buy me to do something. But yeah, it's like so blatantly obvious. Like, I don't know. I think it's just some. I don't know.
Yeah, it's way too on the nose. Like the fact that he's Senegalese is the issue for me. Like everything else, I'm okay with, but a Sunni Senegalese defending Shia Iran, because the only thing that Muslims hate worse than Christians is the other faction of Muslims.
True, but the Senegal part kind of makes it all make sense to me, actually, because what is Senegal south of?
What?
The Saharan desert. That makes him
retarded.
I was going to say sub-Saharan, but that is exactly what I was getting at. You cut out 2 or 3 steps to get there. Yep.
Look, man, we're on the highway to hell. We're gonna get there eventually. Yeah. So then there was that, and then there was the shooting in Ohio, which turned out to be gang related.
Right. That once you found out what the concert was, that was pretty clear what that was.
Yeah. So it turned out
then
to be
there was
related.
The stabbing outside of DC.
In DC, yep.
Which turns out that might be a State Department employee.
That was I saw they said it was a State Department employee.
But it sounds like that was probably just actual road rage.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe. But we bring this up, guys, so y'all can understand. Bro, they all are. This is all, look, evil cannot cooperate with evil. Like evil hates evil as much as it hates good, right? The only thing that's behind the scenes that's coordinating on this is demons.
Yeah.
Right? There's a lot of very dumb people who are able to do very smart things through demonic influence, i.e., Somalians in Minnesota creating vast fraud networks that their intellect should not be able to do.
That poor accountant demon's like, oh, these people are so hard to work with.
I'm just thinking of like a demon behind a desk with that green visor hat on, and there's just like two Somalis sitting in front of him, just
going away at a calculator. And he's just like, well, I don't know, Lucy. I don't know how much longer I can take this.
Oh man.
Right,
so what else happened? What other tweets you got? Let's pull them up.
Well, let's see here. So we got that one from Texas. I don't know if I bookmarked it, but there was the tweet today that let's see. DH. Oh, never mind. It's from a fake website. You say there was one tweet that said a DHS source has told us that it's heard chatter about Iranians placing package bombs made to look like Amazon deliveries on people's doorsteps.
And there was a explosive found today in Dallas.
Yeah, but it turns out that website is legitimately like a fake news website, like a real fake news website.
Hey,
but
busted clock is right twice a day.
It's true.
That's the most obvious intel to give, right? Iranians are going to put bombs places, just like they did in Afghanistan. Well, they didn't really place.
Hold on, guys. Look, they figured out something no one's ever done before: mail bombs.
That's like coming back with the bar mitzvah and wondering why your coins have smooth edges, right? Like it's just super easy to figure it out.
Same accountant demon was behind that one too.
Damn accountant demon.
But it's what everyone's saying, whether it's the shooting in Texas or everyone's saying, if something happens, it might be a false flag, which means Israel's really behind it. And then you have the whole Zionists being like, no, it's really Muslims. I think everyone's like missing the big point, whether it's the Israelis doing it or whether it's Iranians doing it. Like, things are going to get legitimately more dangerous for us here.
Mm-hmm.
And
just get it through your head. There's going to be false flags. It's going to happen, right? Both of those cultures are well known for it, right? But the only thing we can do is do what we can affect.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So trying to say like everything's a psyop. Not everything's a psyop, man. Not everything.
That's kind of a psyop.
The Jews are not behind everything. They're behind almost everything, but not everything. Right. There are some things that are just people are greedy, want power, have an ideology that they're going after, or they're dumb. Right. There are plenty of dumb criminals. The reason they're dumb criminals, the reason we know they're dumb criminals is because they get caught. The smart ones never get caught.
Yeah.
So the fixating on, well, this is a false flag. First of all, you don't know that, right? None of us know that, which gets into like the just war theory thing. Everybody's like, well, it doesn't satisfy this. This is, you don't know that because you don't have all the information. I don't have all the information. I have a lot more information than you do. Right. When I say you, I mean you all generally who are watching
right.
this. Maybe not
you have
Rob,
more experience.
But no, I have information than a lot of y'all have. But I don't have everything. So I can't determine if this satisfies just war theory. There's no way for me to determine that. We're not going to know that 30 years from now when we then maybe know all the information.
Even if you had the info, guess what, guys? Not your job.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
It's just not your job. Why worry about it so much?
Yeah. Like all you can do is affect what's immediately influenced by you. And that's it. Mm-hmm. That's your family. It's probably a few friends and maybe some people at work. That's about it. And that's really all you can do. Sitting on social media and worrying about what everything is, it's not helping anything, especially with your own psyche, your own well-being, your own mental well-being, because you're dwelling on things that you can't affect.
Yeah.
So do you have any more tweets you want to go over?
There's a big there's a lot of pride involved in that sort of thing too. Like the thought, like, I'm so smart, I figured this out for real. Yeah. And it's like, you're not that smart.
It's really just Gnosticism adjacent, right? Yeah. I was so smart, I figured I know this and y'all don't know this. I have the secret knowledge.
I was able to see through the lies.
Yeah.
Kind of like the people who were, never mind, not going to get into that.
Was it Tiny Hat people again?
People who were saying that they tried warning people that this was coming just days, and then they got fired because people were starting to wake up to it just days before this happened. Yeah.
That's why I got fired.
Yeah, that's why.
There's no way you had an abrasive relationship at work, and that's probably like this was the straw that broke the camel's back. I agree with Pachacius here. I don't know if he has an alternate name that we may know, but this statement I agree with. But I think this is likely Rubio like giving us all like the wink.
Yeah,
like, look, guys, like you all were right. But the problem is, if Israel decided to go and do this alone, nukes are on the table, right? And they may not be real, but everyone else thinks they are. Okay. Owen Benjamin, the great philosopher.
Okay. The fact that, you have to admit, now I know this is technically a logical fallacy. I forget which one. I don't care. Someone's going to tell me anyways. But the fact that Owen Benjamin is the one arguing for the conspiracy theory that nukes aren't real should disqualify it immediately.
That's true. That's true. Because he's a flat earther. He believes in flat Earth.
Like I said, I know that's a logical fallacy, but I don't care.
My father-in-law, I was talking to him this weekend, and my mother-in-law has like been on top of conspiracies for a while, and now they're all like coming true. And my father-in-law just kind of goes along to get along sometimes with them. He goes, "Look, I'm on board with every conspiracy." He's like, "I'll get right on that bus." He goes, "But the only one I will never get on with," he's like, I'll accept a T-Rex walking down New York City at streets before I'll ever accept flat Earth. I was like,
yeah,
bro. I'm just laughing the whole time because it's so funny to see how these people start to realize, hey, some of these weren't conspiracies. Like some of these were just like you were just unwilling to believe the facts in front of your face.
First off, if the Earth is flat, how can you possibly have a hollow Earth with entrances to Agartha at both the North and South Pole?
Well, it's like a disc. It's not really flat.
Well, I know, but in the flat Earth, the South Pole is the ice wall on the outside.
Yeah, I don't know. Like the reason my father-in-law is so against flat Earth because he deals with like radio waves and stuff.
Yeah,
they get blocked by the Earth curvature all the time. like they just it goes and stops like it's hitting a wall. And so that's like his big thing. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. I mean, like I know the Earth is not flat. I know for a fact. Like you can't go up in a plane and think the Earth is flat.
You would literally see the curve.
Yeah. So it's wild.
They're flat earthers are as annoying as Sedes. That's because there's the Venn diagram.
The Venn diagram.
There's a rather large intersection there.
Just keep in mind, if you think there hasn't been a pope since 1958, but you still think we can elect, there's valid cardinals out there to elect a new pope, that's as logical as flat Earth.
My favorite conspiracy is that China sends people to the West to drive really badly to slow down our economy. That's funny.
I don't know if that's conspiracy. Like I believe that.
I mean, I don't know if they're doing it on purpose.
That makes sense.
But it's happening. The empty Earth theory is interesting. If you, I'm sure you've heard this. You just might not know it by its name.
There's a name for it.
The idea that like all of our population numbers are drastically inflated. That there's not 8 billion people on the planet. That it's probably more like 4 billion.
Yeah, like China has way outestimated how many people that, and it's and especially during COVID, because I don't know if y'all remember during COVID in China, to pay for everything, you have a phone account that is attached to your cell phone. Okay, during COVID, from like was it March of 20 to like I think it was like July of 20. There was like 300 million people that didn't make any calls or because this stuff could be tracked outside of China, right? So they could tell like the usage of phones and stuff. There was like 300 million people missing who are making those transactions and stuff with their phone. That was the first time I was like, did a bunch of people die and they're just not telling? That's when I was like, maybe COVID's real. Right? Yeah. Maybe people are actually dying from it because you just can't miss 300 million people over 4 months. But now I've been listening to this talk by this woman talking about she believes
the woman from China.
Yeah, the real population of China is like 500 million people. Right,
which is like a third of what they say it is.
Yeah, because and it's logically makes sense because if you think of the One Child Act that they had, right? You went from having for what was it 50 years of two parents making one child only. Like you're cutting in half every 20 years.
I kind of looked into the reported numbers and reported for, so if you take the population numbers, right, from their censuses at, since like 1950, right, and compare them to the fertility rates, they line up. But the reason they line up is because the fertility rates are estimated based on the reported population numbers, right? And it shows, according to the reported population numbers, that like from 1950 until the Great Leap Forward, which is the disastrous policies that ended up killing 100 million Chinese people in starvation and such. Within that period, like fertility rate was like 8 or 9 kids on average per couple.
Wow.
Right? Which is pretty crazy. Maybe that was real. I don't know. But that would have to be real for the reported population numbers to actually make sense. So it's hard because we don't have the fertility rates are based on the government numbers. So we don't, of course they match, but
yeah. I believe it. I believe we don't have near as many people as they say we do at all. But I also believe we've had like 50 million illegal immigrants come across the southern border over the last 30 years.
I would say I think a lot of the population and like reported by the US and a lot of Western European nations is probably right. But like China, India, I guess I believe India's number is more than China.
And this ties into like the tenets of Islam and the tenets of rabbinic Judaism, as well as Asians. There is no taboo against lying in their cultures whatsoever.
No.
So like when you see a post on X about like Iran just blew down another F-15 or something, right? Whatever it is, it's a lie. Like if it's a Muslim saying it, they're lying. If you just assume every single time a Muslim talks, they're lying because their religion not only allows it, but encourages it. Same thing with rabbinic Judaism, right? They encourage it outside of their enclave of Red Sea pedestrians. They are encouraged to lie to everyone. There is no culture of truth there. There is only one culture of truth, and that is Christianity. Because he is India, the truth, right? So everyone else, there's no. That's why, like, it is when it comes to like the Iran war. It's not like I don't want to do it. It's not like the Muslims are our friends and we should ally with the Muslims. No, as Christians, we can't ally with the Muslims or the rabbinic Jews. Right? I'm trying to find like a much more technical term for them because not all Jews are practicing whatsoever. But you cannot ally with it. Just because I don't support Israel doesn't mean I support Muslims. I don't support either of them. Like both of their cultures are incongruent with Christian society. They are not allies whatsoever. That's why every single time we've had an agreement with Iran, they go back on it because they don't care about lying to us and holding any types of oaths. We've learned that all the way back to the Crusades and before. Every single time Richard the Lionheart made a treaty with the Muslims, they broke it. Same thing with St. Louis IX.
With Al Cid.
Multiple, right? Al Cid specifically. Right? Every single time they broke it. It was always the Muslims that broke it because they have no desire for truth whatsoever.
The reason why the Muslims and the Jews were both expelled from Spain were because you had Spanish leaders. El Cid is a very noteworthy one that that they would take control, win back control, but allow the Muslims who lived there to still live there. Because for the most part, a lot of the Muslim population was Spanish, ethnically. Or I suppose originally were Visigothic. They had just converted under Islam. So they wanted them to, still have access to their home They just wanted the land to be ruled by, Christianity. But at every time they allowed this sort of amnesty, the Muslims and the Jews would both betray whatever leader gave them an amnesty, to the point where eventually it was like, no, you know what? You're gone. We cannot trust you. We cannot leave you alone. We cannot leave you in our cities, because every time we do, you try to betray us to our enemies. So that's why all the Muslims and Jews were expelled from Spain.
Yep. There's a region that every time a Jew converted to Christianity, it was done with extreme skepticism, because Jews would claim conversion but still be Jews.
Yeah.
So this is a lesson apparently we've forgotten, and especially us in America, because most of America is Protestant. Especially most of America is dispensationalist Protestant. Like we're in a bubble on X because we think most people agree with us against this, but that's not the case. You go to any evangelical church, the only argument there are they pre-trib or post-trib. And so most of the country is like that. That's why most of the country supports what's going on in Iran. That's why if Israel bombs the Al-Aqsa Mosque, that will start World War III, without a doubt. And it's on the table, because they can't build the third temple without getting rid of the Al-Aqsa Mosque.
Well, if they wanted to build the temple in the right place, they could. But
well, they know that. They know the Wailing Wall is not really part of the old temple. They know that. But they like that everyone else thinks that, and it's kind of like a joke. It's this entire time.
It's a humiliation ritual.
Yeah, it's exactly. It's a humiliation ritual, is what it is. What else you got? Any other tweets?
Well, hold on. Someone asked, how skeptical should we be of Trent Horn? And I imagine they're really asking how skeptical we should be of Jewish converts to Catholicism today.
He's not really Jewish.
No,
he's Jewish. Trent is of goodwill. He's just a soft man.
And I would say, I think you're right. I don't think he was ever Jew, like religiously a Jew, right? He was a Protestant, right? Who converted.
He was biologically a Jew, and that was about it. But Trent's of goodwill. He just like his wife is the one who controls that house. She's the one who is the wears the pants, as they say, right? But he's of goodwill, and he's trying to do what he thinks is best. It's just his way is the way of the Catholic Church since Vatican II, and he doesn't understand why he's hemorrhaging young people.
Yeah,
because they don't want that milk toast, oatmeal of the faith. They want thick, hard, chewy meat. And I use those adjectives on purpose.
But as far as Jewish converts in general to Catholicism, as Catholics, even though Jews and Muslims don't have a religious prohibition against lying, as Catholics, we do have to show charity and to the point where, if you have no evidence as to why you shouldn't trust them, then you should trust that conversion. And honestly, the Jewish converts to Catholicism that I know are really good Catholics. I mean, Ryan Grant, I don't think Ryan Grant was ever a practicing Jew. I think he was an atheist Jew. His family, I think in the past practiced, but Ryan Grant's an amazing Catholic. Gideon Lazar. Mother Miriam. Gideon Lazar.
Some of the, in fact, when Jews who are practicing Jews make that connection that Catholicism is real, they become the most on fire Catholics.
Yeah.
Right. But then you have to trust, do they really convert, or are they lying about it? Right. And right now it's not advantageous to be a Catholic whatsoever.
No.
So
that's a good point. Right now,
right now, I would trust, just on the face of it. Right. But if we ever have the power pendulum swing back in our way, right? I would then be very skeptical of any Muslims and any Jews who are converting.
And you know, you need to say the same thing about atheists or just secular people in general, because they also have no moral prohibition against lying either.
Well, if they're raised in America,
right? There's a culture
of truth.
Yes,
right. That's underpinned by the Catholic Church. So for atheists, I would trust an atheist more than I would, a Semite in a powerful Catholic century.
Yeah, that's a good point.
What were you going to do? Oh, I got an article about everything going on in Iran. I want to go over.
Okay.
From the most unlikely of sources.
Okay. Well, we for anyone wondering what we were talking about, with when we said what Rubio said, I do have the video of Rubio just in case anyone missed that.
So the Shia thing, Shia is just like me. Right. That is me 10 years ago. Right. When I first came back to the faith, that is me. 100%. Like my conversion was messy. It was raw. Right. I was still cussing all the time. I was still basically a Marine. Right. Shia is me. Like I showed it to my wife last night. I showed her the clip of him going, and they're like, what do you think about, what's the difference between traditional Catholic and progressive Catholic? He's like, homosexuality? Nah. I never related to something more in my life.
Oh, what did he say after? Oh, do you believe in hell? Yeah. Well, who do you think's there? Martin Luther. The guy's gone, he says.
But just remember, if you can't bench 225, then one dude can hold you down. If one dude can hold you down, a second dude can rape you.
The gems you learn on this show, guys. You should be thankful you do not have to pay for this.
I know.
The Shia LaBeouf thing is going to be our locals topic tomorrow. Just because we don't want to play that interview on YouTube, because there's a lot of swearing and it's a little rough. Yeah. But okay, so I have the Rubio statement for anyone who didn't hear this.
The United States conducted this operation with a very clear goal in mind. I haven't got a chance to see a lot of reporting. I don't understand what the confusion is. Let me explain it to you, and I'll do it once again as clearly as possible. Perhaps you'll report it that way. The United States is conducting an operation to eliminate the threat of Iran's short-range ballistic missiles and the threat posed by their Navy, particularly to naval assets. That is what it is focused on doing right now, and it's doing quite successfully. I'll leave it to the Pentagon and the Department of War to discuss the tactics behind that and the progress that's being made. That is the clear objective of this mission. The second question that's been asked is, why now? Well, there's two reasons why now. The first is it was abundantly clear that if Iran came under attack by anyone, the United States or Israel or anyone, they were going to respond against the United States. The orders had been delegated down to the field commanders. It was automatic, and in fact, it bared to be true, because in fact, within an hour of the initial attack on the leadership compound, the missile forces in the south and in the north, for that matter, had already been activated to launch. In fact, those had already been pre-positioned. The third is the assessment that was made that if we stood and waited for that attack to come first before we hit them, we would suffer much higher casualties. And so the president made the very wise decision. We knew that there was going to be an Israeli action. We knew that that would precipitate an attack against American forces. And we knew that if we didn't preemptively go after them before they launched those attacks, we would suffer higher casualties and perhaps even higher those killed. And then we would all be here answering questions about why we knew that and didn't act.
That's our Secretary of State.
So for anyone who missed it, he said that they knew Israel was going to launch an attack, and that no matter if it was just Israel attacking or not, Iran was going to attack our assets in return. And that without us attacking them first and knocking out as many of those assets as we could initially, our casualties would be much higher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we know that Israel is willing to go way farther than we are. Like nukes are on the table with Israel at all times because they feel a existential crisis at every little slight to themselves. I mean, that's why they allowed October 7th to happen, was to be able to start this chain of events to get, because the goal is to build the third temple. All of this is to get there and to build greater Israel. All right. So when you keep that in mind, and this is everything that Israel has stated. Like this is nothing that, I'm not telling you things that aren't out there in open source intelligence for you just not to find on the internet. Right? You can find all this. They've been saying this for a while. The whole purpose of all this, especially, and then there's even commanders from the Israeli Defense Force who talk about allowing October 7th to happen because they wanted greater public sentiment on their side to be able to take out Gaza. Like this is on the internet. You can just watch these videos. You can just do things, right?
One thing that the last 48, 72 hours or whatever shows is just how much you absolutely cannot believe that Israel did not know about October 7th. Mm-hmm. We're learning that they knew where Khomeini was at basically all times, right? And that it happened on Saturday because he happened to meet with basically the whole Iranian leadership, and they're like, well, now's a good time. Like, we can take them all out. We're learning that they were able to know where he was at all times because they have had 24/7 access to Iranian traffic cameras for years and are able to
on top of that. There's an Iranian general that Iran just arrested because he survived both of the attacks on the high level positions. They're like, he's got to be Mossad. I also read a report that supposedly 30 years ago, Mossad put in people into Iranian dentistry school to eventually become dentists. And then when they become dentists, they then gave priority to high level IRGC, Quds Force, politicians, whatever in Iran, and then put trackers in their teeth. So that's why they knew where they were all at a single time as well. Like you don't. So when it comes to intelligence, you never operate off of a single source of intelligence.
No,
you always want to verify by at least two or a second or a third source.
Ideally, right? through entirely different means. Like if your human intelligence is telling you something, you ideally would want something from your signal, your SIGINT, your signal intelligence to verify it as well.
And then maybe compounded with imagery intelligence, IMINT, right?
Right.
And so that verifies that it's happening. Okay. You never operate off of single source reporting because it's always faulty. You never know how good it is. You might be, seeing something that's not there or hearing something that's not there, or someone may be telling you something that's untrue because they're trying to curry favor with you. And so
trackers in their teeth. That's why the Brits don't have a clue in Iran.
But that's so Israel every single time, I guarantee you, had second and third hand reporting. Well, it's not third hand, but second and third verification reporting of where they were at. That's why they were to hit them when they did. Yeah. Apparently, Khomeini was not even trying to hide. Unlike Bibi Netanyahu, who went to Berlin, which there's a whole lot of irony there. Right? Jews escaping to Berlin to be safe. All of our dentists, barbers are Indians.
Or Arabs.
Yeah, or Arabs.
This is an interesting question. In a fair fight, would Israel lose?
Without American support, Israel would have ceased to be a country 60 years ago.
Yeah.
They can't exist without us. Now, the reporting apparently is they're trying to separate themselves from us and align more with India because they expect us to be embroiled in our own inner conflict. But I also think that as much as Trump is Israel first right now, I think he's using the Jews as well to get what he wants. In fact, that's a good segue into this article. All right.
Okay.
So printed this thing out for y'all because I wanted to read it so much.
You printed it out.
I printed it out. Yeah, man, I'm a boomer. I just hate reading things on the screen, man. And like and like this little phone, like you can't. That's not conducive to reading.
I'm surprised you're not rolling out an overhead from school. You got to print it out on the clear paper to put up on the wall.
The acetate sheets or whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly. And then pointing your camera at that so we can all see.
So this article is from Philip Labonte.
Okay.
For those of you that don't know, he is the lead singer for a metal band. He's also on the Tim Pool Show. But I read this article, and he like I want to say it's 12 pages long, but 5 pages is sources, like it's citations, right? So I'm gonna read you some of the highlights.
Yeah, where's your PowerPoint presentation?
Yes, bottom line up front, right? It's called bluff. For those of you that don't know what that is, bottom line up front is how you get people to lock in on what you're talking about. Okay, bottom line up front is the real target wasn't Iran. The real target was always China. Okay, and let me lay it out for you. So, 2025.
Yeah, I see where this is going.
China imported a record 11.6 million barrels of oil per day. For those of y'all that don't know, now I'm not reading 7 pages. I'm gonna read pages. For those of y'all that don't know,
your audio's sucks right now. It's cutting in and out. Okay, you're good now.
Is it better now?
Yeah.
Good now? Okay. So China has almost no natural resources of their own. Like they have really no access to oil. They have some rare earth minerals. They have some iron ore. Like they don't have, for as big as they are, they have almost no natural resources.
Yeah.
Which is why they established the Belt and Road Initiative and all that, right?
The iron quality in that part of the world is
very poor.
Like a big part of World War II history with like Japanese steel and stuff. So
yeah, which is the reason that the Chinese, they put out a brand new aircraft carrier last year, and within a year they had a crack across the whole horizontal in the middle of the whole thing. Right? It's just poor quality steel. And the sad part is we get a lot of our steel from China right now because we close down all of our plants here because we can get it cheaper from China. And it's not even good steel, which is why you have buildings in China who are collapsing as well.
Best steel in the world. 30 miles from my house, 3/4 of a mile underground, not even close to tap out. I mean, it's literally the steel that built all the battleships in World War II. Best stuff in the world. It's like 4 times more expensive to get a ton of steel from that than it is from an open pit mine 20 miles away from there. And it's like 10 times more expensive than Chinese steel. So that iron ore is going to sit in the ground probably forever.
I just wanted to highlight Miss Casey's comment here because Miss Casey knows ball. So just want y'all to know that. All right. In 2025, China imported a record 11.6 million barrels of oil per day. Of that, roughly 1.4 million came from Iran, right? Which is about 13 to 14% of their total intake, right? They were buying more than 80% of everything Iran shipped. Now, keep in mind, Iran is not selling oil on the petrodollar, and they're selling it at a steep discount because they're under sanctions. They're not allowed to sell it to anybody else.
Right.
China's the only one really that has been buying it. And they've been buying it through what's called gray ships. Basically, Iran puts it from their boat, their tanker into like a Korean tanker, and then the Korean tanker to China. Okay, so it's kind of like oil laundering, right?
Yeah,
you like that? You like
that?
I do. Venezuela added another 470,000 to 600,000 barrels per day, roughly 4 to 5% of China's seaborne crude.
So you're talking about 20% total between the two.
20% total between those two, right? And keep in mind, like so far, we're taking out a dictator every month this year so far. So who's next in March? Could be Cuba. Who knows? And Cuba's about to run out of oil. They've got like 3 days left. Venezuela is also repaying like $12 billion of Chinese loans they use for infrastructure. One was to for the oil, to be able to pull out of the earth, but also to refine it as well for their own country to use. Right. So there's basically giving a lot of oil to China for that, to repay that back. So between anywhere between 15 and 20% between Venezuela and Iran of their oil to China, right? Well, not of their oil, but that's how much China's imports were, right?
So is I don't know if the article gets into this, that other 80% probably largely legitimate purchases from
Russia,
Saudi Arabia, Russia, things like that.
mostly Russia.
Okay, but this 20%, what?
And Russia hates them,
right?
So, but
this
Russia
20% though is
either.
Is that steep discount. So
Correct.
It's only 20% of their oil,
discount.
But it's the cheap part. It's the cheap part of it. Okay.
And keep in mind, Venezuelan oil is it's very heavy sour, and it takes a vast amount of resource
to refine it,
to be able to refine it. And most of the refineries in the world that are able to refine Venezuelan is along the Gulf Coast of the United States. Okay, we've talked about that a few shows ago.
Yeah,
go back and watch that when we talk about Venezuela a few shows ago. The other so 70% of China's oil consumption is from imports. They have to bring it in. Now they are collecting a lot of. They've built up a very large national reserve. They've got about 3 to 4 months worth of national reserve. So cutting out this 20% is going to hurt. But that also means they now have to go to the American market on the American dollar to buy oil, which means our dollar is going to skyrocket. Because China has been getting away from having to do that for a while. The other thing is the Malacca dilemma. Basically, all the oil coming to China from the Middle East is coming through the Strait of Malacca. And I may be pronouncing that wrong. I don't know.
No, you're right. It's the Strait of Malacca.
But right now, it would be super easy for the United States and its allies to stop everything coming through that strait. So we could cut off China
Strait of Malacca is between the Malay Peninsula and Indonesia, right?
I think so. Okay. Which is, if y'all don't know, there's a set of islands in the Pacific that have China has been making claim to, but Japan has owned forever, because they found a vast amount of oil on those islands, and China's trying to take it for themselves. So for those of y'all who don't know, like Japan, south of Japan, you have Okinawa. Okinawa is basically half Chinese, half Japanese ancestry, because the Ryukyu Islands west of Okinawa was mostly Chinese population. And then the Japanese from north came down, and they basically all met in Okinawa and created. Okinawans aren't really considered Japanese.
Right, and there's an indigenous population that's really neither, right?
Yeah.
So here, for just to give everyone a visual, so you have I'm trying to hold on. You have China up here, right? You have Iran in the Middle East over here. You have India in the middle. Strait of Malacca is between Malaysia here and Indonesia here. So it's this area right through here.
Yeah.
And that is one of the busiest shipping lanes in the whole world.
And Malaysia and Indonesia are both U.S. allies. Like if we wanted to go in there and stop everything coming through there, they would allow us to do it. All right. So China, and this is all from the esteemed Philip Labonte. China is known by this vulnerability for decades, is why they built the Belt and Road, which we already talked about. They constructed the Gwadar port in Pakistan, and they've been developing overland pipeline routes. They've been trying to solve the Malacca problem forever, because that's a hinge point for them. That's a very big vulnerability that we can easily manipulate. Let's see. We already talked about gray market tankers, or as oil laundering, as I called it. China has invested directly into Venezuela oil infrastructure through CNPC and Sinopec, built up to $10 to $12 billion loan, collateralized with oil. As of the day Maduro was captured, Beijing immediately began to try to cut losses and salvage whatever debt recovery it could from the new political reality, which is not happening. Like, they're not getting anything. We basically told Venezuela they don't have to honor anything they have with China. We'll back them on it. And then Iran was just not an oil supplier. It was the anchor of what analysts at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies called the axis of aggressors' supply chain. China bought Iran's oil. Iran got cash and diplomatic cover, and in return ran a destabilization operation across the Middle East that kept U.S. attention to military resources tied down far from the Pacific. So we're basically, what that's saying is, we were not getting as involved in conflicts and things in the Pacific because we were so tied down in the Middle East because of Iran. Basically, Iran was acting as a proxy for China with the whole deal they had set up with China. China had just signed a 25-year comprehensive strategic deal with Iran in 2021, which is now kaput. That's not happening. Let's see. We are talking about China has multi-month resources. CSI has published a report this week documenting the scope of Xi Jinping's purges inside the PLA. If y'all don't know, the biggest reason that China has not moved on Taiwan yet is they don't have the leadership to do it right now. Because Xi Jinping has gotten rid of so many of his generals and stuff because he's being lied to.
There was rumors that the military was planning a coup, and that's why they were getting purged so hard recently.
Yeah, that was part of it. I don't know if y'all remember this. About a year ago, there was the general who's over all the ICBMs and everything in China, who was relieved of command and disappeared because all the soldiers that were at those missile sites, because they weren't getting any money for electricity and stuff to be able to power like their living situations, they were stealing fuel from the rockets. So when they went to go try and test fire a rocket, it was filled with water.
One thing, in our day and age now, like we hear how scared we should be of China and things like that. And I'm not saying we shouldn't, but I think a lot of people now don't realize, like, at the end of the Cold War, right, when we finally were allowed to go in and inspect Russian nuclear, their nuclear arsenal, and allowed them to inspect ours as part of the de-escalation, we realized more than a quarter of the Russian nuclear arsenal wouldn't have fired. It was so poorly maintained and cared for, and that's the nature of communism. And like, I'm not saying China is just a paper tiger, but yeah, it doesn't surprise me that they found that missiles were, inoperable, basically.
Yeah. So because of all these key leader positions that have been removed, about 21% are currently filled with confirmed non-acting commanders. So just to understand how that operational impact, which is why we haven't seen them move on Taiwan yet. In 2024, it took them about 4 days to implement the exercise around Taiwan. Because of the lack of leadership now, and a lot of the MP positions, is taking anywhere between 19 and 25 days to implement the same exercise from the year before.
Wow.
Okay. Combine that in China with the loss of energy and the loss of access to oil and other products, is why which is leading to why we're probably doing this Iran. We're cutting off China, right? We're saying it's because Iranian terrorism, which is still valid, right? For example, 2009. There was a base in Afghanistan called Fiddler's Green. We had a patrol go out from Fiddler's Green, and they went out we hadn't quite gone into Marja yet, because everything was being staged from Fiddler's Green and Lashkar Gah, the main city of Helmand Province. Okay, it was the capital city. And they would basically advance out from Fiddler's Green, which is a base there. Well, one of the patrols went out and we got into what's called a K-tick, troops in contact from a kilometer away. And so they took cover inside of a building. Well, what happened was when the first Marine went into the building to take cover from all this fire, he triggered a pressure plate, which then blew out, triggered an IED that was at head level and decapitated the next two Marines that came through there. Right. Killed the first one from the blast wave, decapitated the next two. That is an IED that was taught to them from Iran. Okay, because Afghans are not that smart. They don't know how to take ammonium nitrate and make it into explosives. It was taught to them by Iran. So, and then there's a big fear of EFV IEDs, which is just basically a projected IED. So the premise is they would make an IED and basically make a concave bowl at the end of it. That way, when it exploded, it would basically direct all the blast in one small area, which would allow, especially if they filled it with ball bearings and stuff. With our MRAPs, which were big armored carriers, basically our APCs, it would direct all that into one position. So the goal was those ball bearings and such that were in IED would eventually penetrate the armor and then go inside the vehicle and just bounce around, turn everybody into Swiss cheese. Right. That was taught to them by the Iranians. Right. Now there's guys like Mike Shelby's like talking about, well, that was never done in Afghanistan. Pardon my French, but bullshit. I saw it. Right. I saw it in Afghanistan. I saw it in Helmand province. We were hit with those all the time. So these are all things that are and there are thousands of Americans who are dead because of the asymmetric warfare that Iran was enacting against our troops in the G1. Now, should we have been in Iraq? In my opinion, no. Did Iraq have weapons of mass destruction? Yes, they did. Right? They had yellow cake. Right? They had mustard gas. These things are indisputable. In fact, the yellow cake was moved to Canada in 2011, and then taken out of Iraq and taken to Canada to get it out of the area. Right? These are indisputable facts. Right? No matter what anybody tells you, they've not done the research. Iraq did have weapons of mass destruction. Is that good enough reason us to go in? No, because Saddam Hussein was the only thing keeping Iraq in check.
And he only ever used those weapons against his own people anyways.
No. And was he a horrible man? And were Qusay and Qudai horrible men too? Yes. Should they have been removed from power? Yes, but not by us. Right? We had no business going to Iraq, but we did in Afghanistan. Right? Now, should we have been there as long as we were? Well, Dick Cheney had to get paid by KBR somehow. Okay. But, all right, so I'm going to get into this real quick. There's been a conversation in the Telegram chat about should we allow our sons to join the military? Okay. Can we allow our sons to join the military that is supposedly serving Israel? Okay. I can't tell y'all what to do for your family, but I know I would not be the man I am today if I did not serve in the Marine Corps. Before I joined the Marine Corps, I was an effeminate emo progressive, right? And I decided I wanted something better to do with my life. I wanted to have some type of impact, and so I joined the Marine Corps, right? And that helped turn me into the man I am today. It gave me the foundation that I didn't get from my dad, because my mom poisoned me against my dad my entire life, because I was raised by a single mom until I was 16 years old. Right. And it took me living with my dad at 16 and then joining the Marine Corps 8 years later to forge me into the man I am today. And it gave me the discipline I have now today. But keep in mind that regardless of what the occupation is in the United States, we still need good Catholics in those industries, right? We cannot give up the medical field because it's corrupt. We need good Catholics in the medical field that we can depend on, who are going to help change the culture of the medical field. We need good Catholics in the military. If the event happens where you have a populace who's going to have to resist the tyranny of the government, where do you think all that's going to come from? It's going to come from the veterans who served in the global war on terror, who supposedly was in service of Israel, right? That a lot of people have that opinion. I'm not saying it was. Did we have coexisting, goals? Yeah, we did. But everyone that's teaching you everything you know about firearms now comes from the GWAT.
Yep.
Right. Every medical advancement that we have today comes from the GWAT. All the advancements in technology especially when it comes to warfare and tactics, comes from the JIHAD, right? Its genesis was there. Has it gotten better since then? Yes, in every aspect, especially tactics. If you want to know what's going to turn the tide, if the event comes where the American populace has to resist against a tyrannical government, it's not because of tactics we learned at JIHAD. That stuff is outdated in 5 years. Tactics are constantly evolving. It's because the men that have been pushed so far that they finally have to do something have already been tested in battle. They know what they can deal with. I cannot tell you how many men I saw in battle who were, were the guys who did 20 pull-ups and did a 18-mile 3-minute run, and they shit their pants the first time a bullet came near them, and they were out of the fight. And then I saw a 150-pound Marine soaking wet, right, dragging that 300-pound Marine with all his gear 100 yards because he got injured, right? You don't know what you're made of until you're put in a situation, and a lot of the guys who serve in the JIHAD know what they're made of, and they know what they're able to do, and all they just have to have is the reason to do it, right? So would I let my son join the Marine Corps right now under this administration? 100% yes, I would. Under Biden, no. Now, I have had friends that I encouraged to join the infantry under Biden. If you're going to join the military anyway, you're not going to listen to me, join the infantry. There's much less DEI and woke garbage happening on in the infantry. And plus, you're going to find out who you are.
Yeah.
You don't join the military to learn a job skill. That's gone. You're that unless you're doing, you're going to be a nuclear mechanic in the Navy or something. Like just about all that's gone, or cyber defense or crypto linguist or something, maybe, right? But anything else, learning those skills is not gone. But if you're going to join the military, as a man, it needs to be the infantry, because you're not going to develop a brotherhood with anybody else in your life anything like the military and the guys you served with. There are guys right now that I could pick up the phone and talk to. I haven't talked to in 20 years. And it'll be like it was yesterday I last saw them, because of the camaraderie I built up with these guys, because they shed blood and sweat next to me. Right. So it's up to y'all what y'all do. Right. Y'all can have that opinion, but we are not going to get through what's coming without all the men who served in the JIHAD, because they're either using their skills or they're passing on their skills through knowledge transfer. So that's my soapbox. And I'm only halfway through my bourbon. We're good.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Do not join the Navy. They're gay. Some Navy's good.
True or false? The Marine Corps is under the Department of the Navy.
The men's department.
You were quick on that one.
Oh, so that brings the Black Monk Rosaries had a phenomenal article on X earlier. Did you read it?
Yes.
You didn't like it? I see that face.
You know, we were talking earlier about, you just never mind. I'm not going to do it.
No.
I'm not going to do it
to
him on air.
This is a safe space.
You know, earlier you were talking about how you eventually just get a feel for what's AI.
Oh, you think that was AI?
Yeah, parts of it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know that at all.
Which, whatever.
Yeah, like I don't know that at all. But it was the message was good though, because that's something I'm trying to do here. Like when Jorian's trying to do it a little, as well. He's still trying to do it from the Nietzsche angle, but he's got his right to be retarded.
Like you said, everyone's retarded about something.
Everybody's retarded about something. Everybody. Look, I've read Twilight. I'm retarded about Twilight, apparently. So, I'm up to it.
Sorry, not Taffy. I don't know who that is. Because Cassie is. It very well might not be. I'm not saying 100% sure it is.
So let's pull it up because it's short. It's not long at all. Twilight shirts. Look.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that, guys. I'm sorry. I do have those. Not the shirts. I have the design, but
Ocean, you didn't really miss nothing. You didn't really miss nothing. But if you want to, go back and watch the first hour and a half of the show tomorrow. Who would I rather? Okay. So let me ask you this: who would you rather teach catechism to your kids, Michael Voris or Voice of Reason?
For a second, I thought that was Voorhees, as in Jason Voorhees.
It is. That's exactly what they did.
Who would I rather have? Well,
just the catechism, right?
I would rather have Voice of Reason.
You can do supervised. You can do supervised lessons, but teaching the catechism to your kids, which one would you rather?
I would rather have Voice of Reason teach my male children, and Michael Voris teach my female children. That's pretty easy, actually.
Way to split hairs there.
Judging from what I know of both, that would be safe.
Yeah, it would. Oh man. All right, let's do you have it up? All right, bring it up.
Yeah.
All right. This may or may not be written by AI. I will let Black Monk Rosaries dispute that if he likes. I trust you, bro. Don't want me with
I'm
Rob.
not saying I don't.
Rob doubts you.
I will. When we get to the part that
when he gets into the Hebrew
AI, I'll
when he gets into the Hebrew.
No. Here,
we'll get there. We'll get there. You just wink when we're at the AI portion.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Okay, so let me start. Two common modern biblical misreadings have done real damage to Catholic men. First, the lazy notion that turn the other cheek means be a doormat. And second, the sloppy translation of Exodus 20:13 as thou shalt not kill, which muddies the actual command, you shall not murder. And yes, so errors have consequences. They do not produce saints. They produce a spinelessness dressed up as piety. In Jesus's world, a slap on the cheek was not violence the way we use the word today. It was public humiliation, a dominance move. Jesus gets even more specific. A strike on the right cheek implies a backhand. That was not just rude. He was bitch slapped, basically. That was not just rude. It was the kind of insult that could carry a double fine because it was considered a severe public assault of dignity. So one thing I learned, especially during COVID, because we were all having to wear those masks, some history lessons I learned was back in ancient Rome, you could not hurt someone in the face because it was a violation of their dignity. Right.
You could not hurt someone of equal standing,
because covering your face was like a crime, pretty much. It was covering up your dignity. All right. So let's see. So what does Jesus say to do? Bueller. All right. Not to stand there and take it forever. He says to turn the other cheek. That move is not submission. It is defiance with restraint. Turning the left cheek refuses the shaming script. It forces the aggressor to choose. Either stop or escalate in a way that treats the other person not as a lesser, but as an equal. A palm strike is not how you smack a subordinate. It is how you strike someone you are willing to recognize as a peer. In plain terms, you do not cower. You deny them the power to degrade you. Your honor is not granted by the bully. It comes from somewhere higher, and you act like it. Yet Christians have managed to misread this into spirituality of total passivity, as if holiness means quietly absorbing abuse, never resisting wrongdoing, never confronting evil, and never defending the innocent. This is not meekness. This is moral paralysis, and has been sold to men as virtue for far too long. How many times do we hear, well, what do you do? Just turn the other cheek, man. If some guy like comes at you, just turn the other cheek. I can't tell you how many, and it's always by men. It's like never women telling me that.
Right.
It's always men. And if you don't know any better, because you just read it on the face of it, sola scriptura, like it makes sense. Like just be passive, man. Just, Jesus is a nice dude. Just be nice like Jesus was. All right. So, but that reading does not fit the Jewish moral universe. Jesus spoke within. What? Is this where it got AI for you?
Actually, it was really like the first couple of paragraphs that kind of read as AI to me.
That first sentence is
but that reading does not fit. Yeah, this paragraph is iffy for me, but I mean, I don't know.
Judaism teaches that preserving life, Pekao Nefesh.
Pikachu? Is that Pikachu?
Is a supreme duty, and stopping harm is an obligation. Turn the other cheek is about insult and domination tactics. It teaches dignity, self-control, and refusal to retaliate, not submission to actual violence. All right, let's see. And then the
you shall not murder one.
You shall not murder. Basically, it's not you shall not kill, you shall murder. But in the Hebrew as well, as it was explained to me by the esteemed Scott Hahn, to kill is the same thing as to murder, but in English we've separated them.
Yeah.
Because to kill can also mean to take the life unjustly or of an innocent, right? So that's because in English we've basically just taken it on the face of it and not delineated what we actually know it to understand it, right? Which is the big issue there. Which is why we have so many Catholics who are passives. Like, it says, well, you shouldn't defend your life because that's killing, and that's against the Ten Commandments. Like, but why does he tell us to sell our cloak and buy a sword?
Right.
Like he's contradicting himself. What am I to believe? I don't know what to do. So I like the article because one, he's got a lot of reach and a lot of people buy from him. So a lot of people are reading that.
I love his
We're getting it out more and more. Right. And it's being seen more and more. And we're having more men of substance, right? Men with chests are taking the stage, right? Guys like Bug Hall, right? Who I like a lot. I don't agree with him on everything, but I like him a lot. Mike Pantile. I like Mike Pantile a lot. And I don't think there's anything. And why do we always feel like we have to qualify whether we agree with somebody all the time or not?
I don't know. I did it just recently with when Dr. Thigpen died.
I'm just going to say I like people. And y'all are just going to have to assume that I like everything they say. And you can get over it. Yeah.
I like Mike Pantile so much that I definitely think he definitely should not have been canceled from a certain Catholic conference that he was supposed to speak at. Oh, wait.
I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it.
No, you're not allowed to say it.
No, but I'm going to say it.
Okay. I'm not saying it.
Because I've researched the evidence, Rob. He's on a website before, and now he's not there anymore. Okay?
Huh. Which website is this?
Kyle Whittington is a coward. I'm putting it out there. He's got a jellyfish spine.
Yeah, for the record, there were multiple people who figured it out without me saying anything. So
look, like Mike Pantile doesn't even say anything that's abrasive. Like he's Canadian.
I was gonna say he's Canadian. He's not allowed to.
It's like trying to kill you with cotton balls. Like the Canadians can't do it. Why do you think they depend on us? They don't have to learn how to fight. They got us. Canadians only fight other Canadians.
Hockey. They did fight and beat us in the War of 1812.
No, the British did.
Well, we invaded Canada,
which was a British colony at the time. But yeah, Kyle's a coward, man. Just like that conference in North Carolina were acting as cowards.
Yeah.
Right? Mike doesn't even say anything abrasive. Like he's as nice as they come. And the fact that you cancel him because you have one sponsor, then get rid of the sponsor and figure it out anyway. If we're going to be holding to one person's opinion all the time, we're never going to advance in evangelizing the masses.
Yeah, if we're always going to be beholden to the one or two Karens out there, you'll only ever end up with Katie Prejean McGrady as your speaker.
Yeah, and she's as milquetoast as it gets.
Yeah.
She is the Marty Hagen of current Catholic celebrities.
Speaking of Marty Hagen,
Pete Hezdes' uncle. That's all that. It's great. Kyle Whittington runs the Catholic Influencers,
Catholic
Creators Conference, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's just, but to be honest with you, it doesn't surprise me whatsoever. We eventually have to get to the point where we just replace these people, and these people's influence is thrown to the trash bin of mediocrity, right? And we're getting that way, right? And I'd love to see you and Anthony and Mike put on a conference, right, of some type, so speaking of which, so I was waiting on a work commitment to hammer out when its dates were. So we're going to have to push our thing to the fall because I can't do it any earlier than June. And June in Alabama is nicht sehr gut.
No,
not good.
I will melt.
Yes, I melt. I'm used to it. So we're probably going to have to push it to the fall.
Okay, fall works.
Probably like late September, maybe. Well, not late September because that's my anniversary. But
can we do it on October 7th?
Could we? Could we? So yeah, we'll push it to the fall because anything after
my
that.
favorite date to celebrate.
Trust me, you knew me.
Adrian loves him some pumpkin spice.
I love pumpkin spice. I love it.
Adrian is the basic white girl of Southern white boys.
Yeah. All right. What else we have to get into before I get into? We go to X only.
Let's see if I had anything else here.
I'm looking through the comments real quick.
Yeah, and I wasn't saying that the whole article from Black Monk was AI, guys. I wasn't. And if it was, who cares? Because I'll tell you,
like it had a good. Like I don't care.
A lot of the YouTube descriptions that are on our channel, I use AI to listen and generate those because I don't have the time.
He's a pizza guy? Does Kyle deliver pizzas?
Pizza guy with patchy beard in Steubenville. All I can say is he is the Jimmy Aiken look-alike in Steubenville.
Like Auschwitz Jimmy Aiken or like plump Jimmy Aiken?
Not GLP-1 Jimmy, no.
Okay.
Yeah. If anyone didn't get the joke, yeah. That is what I was saying. I wasn't. That's why October 7th, clearly. I didn't have anything else.
You think that's what it was? Because he's associated with Gordon?
Yes, that's what it was.
Really?
Yeah, that's what it was.
That's so dumb. That's so dumb. Hey, maybe Paul Thigpen got to meet those aliens he wanted to meet so bad.
Dude. Come on.
Bro, it's public. Don't talk some bullshit if you don't want somebody to criticize it.
You just said everyone's retarded about one thing, okay? He was retarded about the
He was super retarded. He was Tropic Thunder retarded. He said his dad wrote that several years ago. Did you see that?
I was just giving you a hard time, man. That's all.
I don't care. Go for it.
No, but Pascasius.
Just use me. Don't put Rob in it. I don't want to damage Rob's.
I was told not to tell
him. This is completely only my opinion. I'm not speaking for Rob on that whatsoever. But he's a coward for doing that. I'll say it again. When you're beholden to money.
It's cowardly to not just come out and say it. You know what I mean? Like, why try to keep it quiet and hide it? Why not just say, hey, guys, our sponsor threatened to cancel if we had Mike on. So we talked with Mike and we determined it was best for Mike not to be in this year's conference.
Yep.
Still kind of a little bitch move. But at least, I mean, that would be better than being like, just trying to keep it.
Look, if you allow people to dictate who you're allowed to talk to, right? One, you're a bitch, pretty much is what it comes down to. But two, like, at what point do you stop compromising? You'll never stop compromising, right? And eventually you're going to compromise on other things because you made that one little compromise there. And then next time it's going to be a little bit easier to compromise. And then after that, it's going to be really easy to compromise on the big things.
Yeah.
And that's the issue. No, content should not be your bread and butter. Unless you're doing like documentaries and stuff, but you're still living a very frugal life, right? But if your entire livelihood is based on what you produce and put on the internet, you're going to compromise eventually. We're seeing it with specific shows right now that we commented on earlier, who are now we're 100% against e-girls and are now wanting to bring on e-girls, right? Because the Francis effect is gone, and so a lot of these channels are having to do things, compromise previous established principles in order to continue to get clicks because their livelihood depends on these channels.
Yeah,
which is the biggest reason why I will never take money from doing this, right? Because I have a job, and my job, I do very well in it, and I don't need this. I do this for the love of the game. That's the only reason. I'm here to hang out, have a good time, talk to y'all, impart some knowledge, tell some retarded opinions. Like, that's what I do this for. Right. So I will never accept money for this whatsoever. Any money we ever get is going to be donated. I don't need it.
It's one of my largest criticisms of the whole Catholic Creator Conference is like, should we really be coming up with an infrastructure to help Catholics do this professionally? Like, because like we all just said, those who do it professionally end up becoming compromised in the vast majority of cases.
Yep.
And like, I don't think we should be developing this infrastructure to help Catholics do this professionally as a living. It just, no,
I agree. And I don't have a problem. Like Miss Casey said, I don't have a problem with people making money, right? Paul made tents to make money, right? And the laborer is due his wages. I get that. But when you start depending on money to pass on the Catholic faith, eventually you're going to compromise that Catholic faith because you need money.
It's why I don't monetize the meditations. That would feel really weird to do.
Yep. I think most of Wagner's it comes from donations he does like a lot of mission work though.
He does. And when he produces, like, the content he is producing is not, I'm not going to say it's like documentary or like, in terms of scale, but it is geared much more towards that than reactions and clickbait and things of that nature for the most part.
Yeah. Wagner puts on some good content. And I don't think I've ever heard him ask for money. I may have missed it, but I've never actually heard him ask for money, I got a lot of respect for that. All right. So do we have anything else we go over on this side before we go to X?
No.
I'm gonna show y'all some stuff. You probably see some of it already. Let me see if I can move out of the way.
Your name tags in the way. Hold on.
Right over.
Right there.
Right there. We're gonna talk about Get Home Bags Part 2. So go over on X because I can't show these
link. You know what? Let's get Adrian some love.
Miss Casey, you follow me. Just go to my profile. It'll be. I posted it earlier. That's my last link I posted.
For all the challenged people here, I will get a link real quick.
Ron, everybody calls me a boomer.
And yes, the show is still misnamed.
I don't think you can watch without an X account, Paul. But you don't have to follow me to watch either. So if you just want to create like a dummy account to go view the show, you can.
There. I'm going to pin this link here.
Yep, there you go. It's in the chat.
And yes, I will post it on YouTube I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow or the day after. We'll see what I have time for, but it will get on YouTube. Yes.
The issue is we just can't do it live on YouTube, so we're trying to post it afterwards.
When their censor bots see a gun in a live stream, it cuts it instantly.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna cut YouTube cut the YouTube.
Hey, cut it with that video I sent you.
Oh crap. Give me a second. It's gonna take me a little while. Did I save that?
See, as y'all can tell, I don't pay Rob anything, because if I did, I would expect better results than this.
The problem is I can't share the sound unless it's in a Chrome tab. Hold on. I got to talk, Adrian. You got to talk. You got to do what Anthony does when I'm.
Got to do it. So y'all want to know how I was smoking tonight? So I was smoking some White Knight. All right. It's a very good pipe tobacco. It's a medium body, very complex, a well-balanced bulk and style blend. I really only smoking them on the show now. I don't really smoke as much because I don't smoke in the house because it will like saturate fabrics in the house. So I don't smoke in the house. I really just smoke when I come out here to my team room. Which is like once a week now. I've really slacked.
Talking's hard.
Do there.
Okay, I think I got it.
You got it. I can't get knickknacks. So if anybody wants, look, I will
drive to Atlanta. That's safe.
I will. I actually St. Longinus, it's a spear. He works in Atlanta, so I think I might have some sit down and bring him over here because I can't get them. It's retarded. I can get out, but I can't get those. If y'all don't follow this account on X, you need to.
What is this?
Agave.
X9 or is this?
This is agave.
Agave.
Yeah.
Your path leads to war. So war is coming. You know that. What will you do when you feel its breath upon your neck?